The Warriors. The Golden State Warriors. They never escape the playoffs. They always make it. They always, even when you think, oh, the Kings got him. Game 7 at home. They torch him. And what's crazy enough is Stephen Curry and Kevon Looney being able to do what they did, having historically great, arguably the best games of their careers. Being able to do what they did in a Game 7 situation, not even at home, and we know how good they are at home. On the road at Sacramento with a full-seated crowd full of Kings. Being able to produce the way they did. When Clay, Andrew, Jordan, Poole, all having off nights. Terrible nights. This is the scariest team in the league. No doubt. Because when all those stars having arguably the worst night collectively that they've had this series, and Steph Curry putting up the greatest Game 7 performance we've ever seen, the only player to have 50 in a Game 7 ever in the entire history of the NBA. Not even Mike has done it. Kareem hasn't done it. Wilt Chamberlain hasn't done it, and he averaged 50 in a season. I mean, this is... Larry Bird hasn't done it. Magic hasn't done it. Allen Iverson hasn't done it, and he brought the Sixers to the finals, 1 year, averaging 30 plus, right? This performance scared the entire NBA. Because when you look at the stat sheet, Clay had one of the worst nights he's had. Same with Andrew. Same with Dre. And with Dre, he was 3 for 7, 1 for 4 from 3. That's fine, right? That's fine. I can take that from Dre. But he wasn't that reliable on defense. He got into foul trouble. Still chirping at the refs like he usually does. Thankfully, he didn't get suspended or ejected. But he just didn't seem like the Draymond we saw throughout the series up until Game 7. Like, especially in games 4, 5, especially games 5 and 6. Loved the aggression he had. And he shot relatively efficiently, and he dominated defensively. And the way he's been able to play make, we know how good of a playmaker he is. But he showed flashes offensively and defensively, playmaking, scoring, defense, hounding multiple different guys on the Kings, and knowing how young and talented and fast-paced they are and athletic they are. Best fast break team in the league. Him being able to guard multiple of those young guys. How athletic and fast they are. They have some of the fastest guys. They have the fastest guy in the league. Malik Monk's one of the fastest guys in the league. Right? These guys are insane. How young they are. Right? Being able to build the chemistry that they have already. They're such a scary team. Probably the brightest future in the entire NBA. The Sacramento Kings. Being able to see the lackluster performances from 3 stars that are heavily relied upon on this Golden State Warriors team in a game 7 situation with the playoff experience they've already had, 4 championships in the past decade. To be able to have that bad of a performance collectively from those 3 stars, especially the way Andrew Wiggins played last year in the playoffs. He was an all-star, right? Jordan Poole had amazing games. Klay Thompson did really well. Steph Curry had trouble in late in games. We know that, right? Steph Curry has had some trouble in the playoffs late in games, but he was unstoppable in Game 7, especially late in the game. He had like 20-something points in the paint as a 6'2", 6'3" guard. And a lot of them were on ISO possessions. And we know the Warriors spam screens for Curry all game. Players like Davion Mitchell tiring out, then they put in Davis, and he absolutely cooked Davis. This team is scary. Having the off night that they did. And Kevon Looney, 21 rebounds, 10 offensive rebounds, 11 defensive rebounds, 5 for 7 from the field. He was absolutely fantastic. Had, honestly, a career game in a Game 7 situation. That is unbelievable what he did. Absolutely demolished Domantas Sabonis in Game 7. Stole his All-Star card. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. And then Curry having the best Game 7 we've ever seen. Like I said before, 50-point performance. He had an unstoppable fourth quarter, unstoppable third quarter. He was unstoppable the entire game, but especially late game. Because that's the one weakness everyone points out about Steph. Oh, he can't finish in the clutch. He can't produce in the clutch. Right? And then he has the performance he had, especially late game. Unstoppable. And he had 8 rebounds as well. Like, this guy's unbelievable. And if he continues to step up like this, I cannot see the Warriors getting beaten by any team in a series. And the Lakers are on a hot streak right now. You know, 4-2ing the high-seeded Grizzlies, as highly anticipated of a team as they were. I'm pretty sure they were projected to win the series before, the series started or something. Or I think that's what the predictions were. I'm pretty sure they had the Grizzlies winning. As far as like the betting odds and all the sports betting odds and everything, I think they had the Grizzlies winning that series, and then the Lakers come out and 4-2 them. Bye-bye. Quick 6. They could have won in 5, honestly. But still, not even taking it to 7. Just, 4-2. And they beat them by 40 in Game 6 to end the series? They beat them by 40? Are you kidding me? In the way Rui Hachimura stepped up, 29 points in one game. Led the team in one game in scoring. Austin Reeves averaging 17 and a decent chunk of rebounds and pretty good, standard star role player numbers, right? And D'Lo having a 31-point night, clutch. AD having the performances he's been having. LeBron having that 22 and 20 game. And then they come out in Game 7 and have an even better night than all those other historical nights. That is unbelievable. The things LeBron is doing at 38 are things I don't think any other 38-year-old in NBA history, even in the future 38, will ever do. He is impossibly great. If he wins this 5th championship, universally speaking, he's going to be the GOAT. Universally. And there are already so many people who already have him above Mike. If he wins this 5th chip, which I really want him to personally, I have him above Mike. If he wins this 5th chip, he's the GOAT. Right now, it is super close, in my opinion. It is super close, but Mike barely takes the edge right now. But if LeBron wins this 5th chip, I have him above Jordan. No debate. No questions asked. If he wins this 5th chip, he is undeniably a tier above Jordan. And I don't think anyone expected seeing Jordan the way he played, the way he dominated. Even coming back from playing baseball for a year. And just coming back and casually winning 3 more. The dominance. And then LeBron comes out of nowhere. Most hype high school player we've ever seen. Producing since day 1. And still averaging nearly 30 at 38 years old. Are you kidding me? I don't think anyone will be able to have the longevity LeBron will have. And it won't even be close for decades. He beat Kareem's record and he's still going. He's going to be thousands of points ahead of Kareem when it's all said and done. And if you look up articles in the past, right? Even just 2-3 years ago, saying how impossible Kareem's scoring record is in the NBA and how it will never be broken. And then LeBron comes out of nowhere and he is smashing that record. Destroying that record. He's going to be thousands of points ahead of Kareem when it's all said and done. Especially if he's waiting for Bronny to come into the league. Who knows when he's going to retire? You know what I mean? It doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon either. LeBron, there will never be another LeBron James. Ever. His production, his longevity, even him in the playoffs, you know, and I know he doesn't have as many chips as Jordan, obviously, but if he gets to 5 with all, you know, leading the NBA all time in scoring, I think he's like top 3 in assists all time, and I think some other all time stats he's like top 5 in. You know, he's dominating in every aspect. I can't think of one weakness in his game. He's still amazing defensively. At 38. Still playing a decent chunk of games at 38. Compared to other youngins in the league who are getting injured left and right. Ben Simmons, right? If y'all want me to make a video about Ben Simmons and my opinions on Ben Simmons, I will talk for an hour and a half about Ben Simmons. Man, that dude. He's a money hogger. And then he goes around and just sleeps with celebrities, let's be honest. Right? Man. And he had an amazing rookie campaign. Amazing first couple years. Made the All-Star team 2 times, I think. Back-to-back years. And now he just disappeared. I don't know, man. But, you know, I'm hoping to see a resurgence because that man's talented, you know? And I know he's suffering through, like, a really bad injury, but he's had so much time. He's had so much time. There's no excuse. Look at LeBron. Look at AD, the resurgence he's had, you know? And he's been out these past couple years so many games, right? And he's still out there giving it his all. He's had an amazing season. Amazing resurgence. We thought he was going to barely play any games the rest of his career, and he comes out, and he's doing amazing. Right? Ben Simmons is still sitting out, and he's still so young. 80's 30. You know, he's starting to get up there. Ben Simmons is still so young, and he's wasting his career away. You know? People are saying, just retire, and he's still so young. You have to really mess up for people to say that about you. You know? But before we continue, make sure you guys smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and absolutely demolish that notification button so that you guys don't miss another podcast episode on the Deadeye Pod. Because when it drops, it's dropping some heat. And y'all can't miss that. You know, if you wake up one morning, you're like, oh man, Charles uploaded yesterday and I didn't see it. Man, you got to turn on those noties, man. You can't miss these. You can't. You don't want to get caught. You don't want to get behind on these. Anyways, enough of me promoting myself. Let's get back into it. In Game 7, he shot 38 shots. He went 20 of 38, above 50%, taking 38 shots. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't think anyone else has been able to put up that efficiency, scoring 50, even though the league, you know, the league scoring is so many players are averaging 30 plus now. You know what I mean? So many non-all-stars are averaging 20 plus. You know what I mean? Even LaMelo, I know he was injured, but he averaged over 23 a game. You know, maybe not the best efficiency, sorry. But just it's a casual thing now. It's not like really impressive all of a sudden. You know what I mean? I guarantee you there are dozens of players that a lot of people just haven't really taken notice of this year, but have in the past. So just Trae Young, he didn't even make the All-Star team. And he put up a freaking dogfight against the Celtics. Bringing them to 6, I thought it was going to be a sweep, easy sweep. You know? I was like, no way the Hawks are even going to get a game. Maybe one if they get lucky at home or whatever. But they made it close, man. They made it super close. But back to the Warriors. You know, Jordan Poole, 3 for 9, terrible. Moody did his thing, 2 for 3. Gary Payton did his thing. And one thing about Gary Payton that a lot of people don't appreciate. He had three rebounds and 1 assist and 2 points, right? The stats don't pop out, right? As Charles Barkley would say, that's a triple single. But he's not a stat patter. He's not. The stats don't show, you know, how valuable of a player he is to the Warriors. Like, this dude is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. And just because he was out for most of the season, people just haven't taken notice. And if you watch Stephen A., Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, you know what I mean? Kendrick Perkins, Jalen Rose, right? None of them mentioned Gary Payton II as the best on-ball defender. None of them. Maybe last year when they won the championship and he proved himself. But people just kind of forgot. You know what I mean? And he proved himself on the defensive end. You know what I mean? And it's those players that build a championship team that people don't give enough recognition. And another one of those players is Dante DiVincenzo. That guy can do it all. Amazing defender. Amazing handles, amazing shot. He can get to the rim. He can make high IQ plays. You know? And that's what rounds out this Warriors team and makes them just so elite. You know? And obviously Steve Kerr, he's one of the best coaches to ever. So, you know. And the fact that they already have Steph Curry, Draymond, Clay, you know, 4 championships under their belt. Greg Pop is, I mean, man, you know, what can you say about the man? He has accomplished everything. You know what I mean? I think he has, you know, if he sticks around for at least a half a decade longer, they're going to be scary. You know, give him a couple years. Give him a few more draft picks. Let those good draft picks develop into, you know, look at Kawhi when he was on this. The way Popovich developed Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili coming off the bench, being that valuable to a team, you know? And a lot of people don't compare Steve Kerr's developmental greatness to Greg Popovich's, you know? As a 6-man, I think a 6-man is one of the most crucial roles in developing a championship team, you know? And the bench points is something that is very underlooked. You know, people are always like, oh, how much did the starters get? How much does Steph, Clay, how much did they get tonight? But not many people talk about the people on the bench. You know what I mean? And if the bench is all around solid and you have solid starters, like the Warriors, and they're proving themselves, 4 championships, they've always had an amazing bench. That's what makes a team so great, you know? And it's that all-around depth. It's a team sport, you know? One person can't carry an entire team to a championship, you know? Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, you know what I mean? Tony Kukoc. Steve Kerr was on the team, you know? And many other amazing players that, you know, off the top of my head can't think of right now. But there were so many amazing players on that Bulls team. And, you know, they won 6, you know what I mean? And yeah, Jordan did his thing. Put up inhuman stats, you know. Same with Kobe. You know, Kobe, Shaq era. And then he got Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher. So, and obviously the star player gets the most attention. Oh, you know, Kobe Bryant led the Lakers, you know, to their, you know, to his 4th title, you know, this and that, right? But it wasn't just him, you know, and, you know, same with the Warriors, but there's something different about the way this Warriors team is playing than any other team in the NBA. Even the past decade, I'd say. The fact that everyone in the starting lineup except Kevon Looney, right? You know, everyone just had a terrible night except for Steph Curry. And I feel like coming out of that second half, Steph Curry was like, all right, enough of this. Let's play. You know what I mean? We know how to win. Let's do it. And he came out with a mission. And that's when, Klay Thompson started heating up. Kevon Looney just kept doing his thing. He literally destroyed Domantas Sabonis on the glass. And he was extremely efficient all night. Not only on the offensive glass, but the defensive glass. And he was able to get such good looks in the paint, And credit to, Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, Draymond for finding him. You know what I mean? Dante DiVincenzo, all for finding that man in the paint. They're starting to utilize him more. You know what I mean? Those really, really good role players, you know what I mean, that get overlooked. Like Steve Kerr is just so good at that. He sees potential in those role players, and he's able to trick other teams, because they're going to be double teaming Steph, or what if Klay has an amazing first 2 quarters, they're going to start doubling Klay, you know what I mean? And especially in a zone defense, they just give it to Kevon Looney, boom, easy 2. If he misses, he'll get the rebound over Sabonis, and that's what happened, you know what I mean? His 2 misses, it didn't catch a lot of people's attention because he made up for it with his 21 rebounds. You know what I mean? And 5 for 7, we got to give this man credit. You know what I mean? That is unbelievably efficient. He exceeded expectations for that night. You know what I mean? And what truly makes this team scary is the fact that everyone on the starting lineup, except for Kevon Looney, and the majority of the bench had some of the worst shooting we've seen from the Warriors this season, especially in the playoffs. And Steph Curry comes out here and he drops 50. And on 20 of 38, are you kidding? That is historically efficient. I mean, who puts up nearly 40 shots and shoots over 50%? There's a reason he's the first player in a Game 7 series to drop 50. And who knows, the next person who drops 50, who knows if they're going to be able to be as efficient as Steph Curry when he put up those 50 points. You know what I mean? And the fact that so many key players on the Warriors in Game 7 had a horrible night, Steph Curry produced when he needed to. And it wasn't just scoring. You know what I mean? It wasn't just scoring for him. We'll give him 6'2", 6'3", right? Being that small and getting 8 rebounds, he almost got double-digit rebounds. That is unbelievable. And the fact that he was able to get 8 rebounds, even with Kevon Looney hounding the offensive and defensive rebounds the entire game. That is unbelievable that he was still able to get 8 rebounds. And I saw his stat, but he got like 27 points in the paint or something, and we saw that in the second half. He just they couldn't stop him. Even in isolation, he was able to drive by Davion Mitchell, even though he's been hounding him the whole series. He's been doing a pretty good job on Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Even when they put Swipe of the Fox on him. De'Aaron Fox blew right past him. And yeah, got to give him credit where it's due. He still had amazing performances, even with the broken index finger. And I have all the respect in the world for De'Aaron Fox. He has such a bright future. That dude, he's top 5 point guards in the league right now. Easily. You know what I mean? This kid's insane. This kid has some of the brightest future I've seen from a point guard in the past half decade, honestly. And the way he's been able to develop is just unbelievable. His defense, we always knew what his defense was. That's why he's called Swiper. Fastest guy in the league. And then he develops a shot. He develops, and we saw that against Lonzo Ball in college when he dropped, I forgot how many, but it was unbelievable what he did to Lonzo Ball. Man, that was an ending for him, and that's why he got drafted high. But the fact that he was able to come out in this type of playoff situation against the most veteran team in the league, right? And produce the way he did, take him to 7 is unbelievable, you know? And shout out to Malik Monk. He did his thing. Malik Monk did his thing. And he was aggressive. He was able to make some amazing passes to Domantas Sabonis in the paint throughout the series. You know, his IQ, people don't give Malik Monk enough credit. His IQ is unbelievable. You know, people know he's a stone cold killer on the court. But the way he's able to play the game as a playmaker as well and hound full court players, you know, this dude can do it all. You know, and he's a guy coming off the bench every other team wishes they had and is scared whenever he comes on the court. Because when he heats up and he's unstoppable. You know, and that's why the Kings developing this playoff experience and taking the Warriors in 7 games is it's a feat that not many young teams can able to, are able to do with a team that's won 4 championships and dominated this past decade. You know what I mean? Or half decade, when they won those championships. And they're the reigning champs, right? And I'm gonna go out on a limb right now. I think they're gonna take the 1 seed next year. There's a really, really good possibility. I mean, think about it. They're gonna get new assets, trade away some players, get even better. And man, their coach, man, you got to give him credit. He's just only gonna get better too. And they're just going to get more adjusted. I mean, it's their first year with him. You know what I mean? And they took the reigning champs who've been dominating the NBA, the modern NBA, for years. You know what I mean? And back to Steph Curry. Real quick. We need to give him the credit he deserves. Did you guys know he's 35? He's 35 years old still doing this? I mean, people aren't even taking into account how old he is. Time's flying by for this man. He's 35. You know what I mean? Everyone's talking about LeBron's 38. And, that'll be a whole nother topic because what he's doing, I think if he wins a 5th title, if he wins the champion, I want the Lakers to win it all this year. Because I think if LeBron wins his 5th championship or somehow is able to get a 5th ring before he retires, I think he deserves to be the best player ever, above Mike. And that's saying a lot because Mike, man, stone cold killer. The best winner we've ever seen in sports, period. Right? And another stat that was interesting to me. Steph Curry, I think he has the highest playoff win percentage in NBA history. And it's by like a 5% margin. And when I heard, I was like, I knew he had an amazing winning percentage, but I didn't know it was this high. And I didn't know any player ever could get this high of a playoff win percentage. It's only going to get higher. Stephen Curry has an 85% playoff win rate. That is godlike. That is Megatron-like. That is inhuman. That is otherworldly. And I get he had KD and all that, but he's been doing this without KD. That's why they're the reigning champions, And, people are debating if he's the greatest point guard of all time. I think he's top 2. And I think when it's all said and done, because he's already, by far and away, the best shooter we've ever seen. Hands down, right? We all universally agree upon that. But by the time he retires, it is going to be very difficult for another point guard in the future to do all the things Steph Curry did, especially at his size, right? Are we ever going to see a 6'2", 6'3" point guard do the things Steph Curry has done? I don't know. When it's all said and done. we're going to have such a greater appreciation of Steph Curry when he retires. And we already think he's the most entertaining player in the NBA. Personally, I agree with that. That's a hot take. I feel like a lot of people agree with that. It's subjective, but I feel like a lot of people think that, when you watch him. I don't think we've ever seen as entertaining of a player since Michael Jordan on the court. And LeBron, obviously, but LeBron is still playing. But the things he's doing still at age 35 is uncanny. It is he is on a tier right now where, I mean, all people are talking about is he the greatest point guard of all time? He deserves that level of respect. I get that. I still have Magic above him, barely, just because of the impact he had as a 6'9" point guard, being able to dominate the way he did, as big as he was, as fast as he was, the way he was able to handle the ball, make those flashy passes. You know what I mean? No one's been able to do that since Magic. Be that big and be able to dominate the way he does. A natural born point guard, right? And obviously Jokic is just, but he, as a 7-footer, he's doing things we've never seen before. That's why he's a 2-time MVP, back to back. But just the impact Magic had, and I feel like that's a huge factor. That's why Michael Jordan, I think, is still arguably the GOAT. But if LeBron wins his 5th chip, I've been saying this since he won his 4th. I'm like, if he wins one more, I have him above Jordan. Especially since he passed Kareem, we don't know who is going to be able to top his scoring record, because he's still going. He's waiting till Bronny comes to the league. Bronny made the McDonald's All-American. Shout out Bronny, man. He made the McDonald's All-American team. Almost won the slam dunk contest. Shout out to Bronny, man. He's been killing it. And Bryce is on the rise. He's 6'6" now. Man. They have such a bright future, man. And Bryce is a freshman. He just finished, I think he's just finished his freshman year in high school. That is unbelievable. He's 6'6" at 15. I'm pretty sure LeBron said he was like 6'1" at 15. Bryce is 6'6". There is a chance he could be taller than Bron. Unbelievable. And we have to give Bronny credit. He's only, 6'3", 6'4"? Dude can jump out the gym. And we get it. It's little sperm genetics, right? Bryce can do the same thing. But Bronny at 6'3" doing what he's doing. The shot, the pure shot, the stroke he has, being able to hit three-pointers the way he does at a high percentage, at a high clip, a fast release. He's able to catch and shoot off the dribble. It's his game is so different than LeBron's game, right? That I have just such a greater appreciation, because he's an undersized guard and his father's 6'9", the height difference, and it's unbelievable. It's a 6-inch height, 5-6 inch height difference, right? And he was still able to make the McDonald's All-American team. Still one of the top players in the country. He's above Mikey Williams. The adversity he's gone through is unbelievable, and people have always critiqued him, and he's proven everyone wrong. The amount of pressure he has at his age is unbelievable, and he's been having to deal with all this since he was little. You know what I mean? Being named after LeBron, it's a tough feat, and man, I have all the respect in the world for Bronny, man. Shout out Bronny, man. And shout out Bryce, man. He been balling too. Shout out Keon Anthony, Carmelo Anthony's son. He been balling in AAU, and for his school, been doing amazing. These rising stars, man, it's unbelievable, But I'm getting off topic. Let's get back to the Warriors. So, when they have a night like they did, right? Excluding Steph Curry for a second, the fact that, as I said before, Draymond 3 for 7. That's fine. You know what? I'll give Draymond Green the respect he deserves. 3 for 7, barely below 50%. Barely. He hit a 3. 1 of 4, we'll take it, right? At least he's staying confident. He's staying poised, because we know he's always poised on the defensive end. He's chirping at the refs left and right. You know what I mean? The whole league knows that. He takes pride in defense. But to see this confidence, 4 3-pointers in Game 7, only 1 fell, but he still had that same confidence throughout the entire game. I love that about Draymond, because he's getting older too, and still seeing this level of confidence and aggression he had is, being able to have the same aggression as he was half a decade ago in his prime, right? Even longer than that. Like, it's unbelievable, and Steph Curry being 35, dropping 50 in a Game 7, first player ever. It's unbelievable what he's doing at his age still. And it's just a testament to his hard work. I think he's one of the hardest, I think personally, seeing his behind the scenes footage, even though it's only 1 or 2% of his yearly annual, what he's putting in behind the scenes. What we're seeing, the footage, the seldom footage we get every now and then from Steph Curry behind the scenes that people are capturing of him. It's only 1 or 2% of all the work he's doing behind the scenes that we don't see. When it's all said and done, right? He's going to be one of the most heavily appreciated players in NBA history, because I don't think, and this is a hot take, because there's so many amazing shooters, right? And the game is evolving so much, or even thinking about adding a 4-point line, right? Who knows when that's going to happen? Who knows if that will happen, But it's in the discussions, right? But the fact that he's been able to do the fact that he's been able to do what he's done for this long, even though LeBron is easily outmatched him as far as longevity, but because LeBron is just LeBron, right? Man, people don't give Steph enough credit. What he's doing at 35, right? I mean, when it's all said and done, I might have him above Magic, and that's saying a lot considering the impact Magic had, right? And what he was able to do at his size. And diving deeper into how scary this Warriors team is. Because that was an off night for them in Game 7. Not for Steph Curry, not for Kevon Looney, but for pretty much the rest of the key pieces of the team. Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, right? Draymond Green. He got in foul trouble. You know what I mean? And he had a few road bumps offensively and defensively, right? 1 for 4 from 3, 3 for 7. But 3 for 7, I'll take it from Draymond, right? But it just wasn't a lot of key players night, and Andrew Wiggins too. I forgot about Andrew. And he's been a stud this series. But Game 7, and so is Klay, and Draymond's been doing his thing even though he got suspended for 1 game. He's been doing really well on the defensive side of the ball. And he's been staying aggressive offensively, We saw flashes of young Draymond this series, you know what I mean? But Game 7, they were just so off. Not just offensively, but defensively. And another thing we have to give Steph Curry credit is his defense in Game 7. Yeah, he scored 50, right? Which we've talked so much about already on this podcast, on this episode. But the impact he's been able to have on the defensive side of the ball, being an undersized guard, being able to step up in those big moments, the way he was able to shine on both ends is just, it's unbelievable. He literally put the team on his back, you know? And yeah, the saying, there's no I in team. But man, did he prove that wrong. Especially the second half. It was the Curry Kevon Looney show. The entire game. And I do gotta say though, the shots Clay made were unbelievably difficult. It's ironic because with Clay, it seems like the shots he misses are wide open, right? And yeah, he had a few wide open looks that he swished in, but it seems like the ones he misses aren't the hardest shots he takes. The hardest shots he takes, like the little fadeaway mid-range from the corner, and barely scrape the edge of the glass or whatever, swished in. That was unbelievable. He swished that. You know what I mean? That's not the first time he's hit a shot like that this series. And he's making that's the shots he's making. That's scary, right? And beating a 3 seed by 20 in Game 7, not at home, and we all know how notoriously bad they are when they're not playing at home, right? The Kings had every advantage in the world, in Game 7, right? And they lost by 20. With Clay having a horrible night, Andrew Wiggins having a horrible night, Jordan Poole having a horrible night, Draymond not having the best night offensively and defensively, right? I'm genuinely terrified of this Warriors team. I have the Lakers going all the way, right? I really, really, really want AD to get his second chip. I want LeBron to get his 5th chip, And among other guys, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. I mean, they're so deep, man. D'Angelo Russell. They're such a deep team, you know what I mean? And there are many other amazing players on that team that I can name. They're so deep. So, Malik Beasley, been shooting pretty well. This is just Dennis Schroeder, as underpaid as he is right now. He was willing to make that sacrifice to come back and try to win a chip for them, to help them win a chip. I admire that so much from Dennis Schroeder. He's been putting his all out there. He's been having some off nights, but he's been so aggressive, doing all the little hustle plays, scrambling around. He's so fast and quick, And adding some of those fast and quick guys to this roster was key, And youngins like Austin Reeves showing out. Rui Hachimura had 29 in one of the games against, when they won 4-2 against the Grizzlies. The fact that there were multiple different players in that series, I'm pretty sure every single game there was a different Lakers player in that series against the Memphis Grizzlies that led the team in scoring. Rui Hachimura had like 29 one night. Rui Hachimura, and he's a really good role player. But the fact that he was able to take over the way he did, and so many other players were able to lead the team in scoring each and every game, that's unbelievable. That's an unbelievable stat that a different player on the Lakers led the team in scoring each and every game, a different player. Because you'd think it would be just AD, Braun, D-Lo for a few games. And shout out D-Lo, man, having that 31-point night. Amazing playmaking night. That was amazing from D-Lo. Being able to see his true potential, finally being in a situation, coming back to LA, being able to have the freedom to do what he does, you know what I mean? Being able to play make, being able to shoot the shots that he wants to shoot. Because, man, he takes some of the most contested shots I've seen in the playoffs so far, and he's making them. He's making them, and he's proven himself, man. And I really hope he's able to make another All-Star team because, man, he deserves it. I think he's going to have a breakout regular season next year. And people are really going to take notice. I think he's going to make an All-Star team next year. I'm pretty confident in that. Even though the competition's getting greater and greater as people are scoring more, people are becoming, playmaking demons, even the bigger guys like Jokic. Embiid's starting to become a little bit of a playmaker. We don't give Tobias Harris enough credit, man. He should be an all-star as well. That man has been... I mean, he is one of the most underrated players in the league, I feel like. You know? And James Harden averaging, leading the league in assists this season. People are just upping their game, finding different ways. James Harden lowered his scoring production, letting Embiid, giving Embiid the keys, right, to this franchise when he came over to the Sixers. I mean, that's a team player doing what he does best, and that's trying to win the best he can and playing his role the best he can on the Sixers, right? And he has perfected that, And players being able to make adjustments like that is key, And also, shout out Doc Rivers. He's been doing an amazing job with that team. An amazing coach. And I personally have Embiid winning it, and we'll, the MVP voting comes out tomorrow. I'm hoping that Embiid wins, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's going to be such a close race. I think it's just going to be between Jokic and Embiid. They have to give it to Embiid. He led the league in scoring as a big man. Like I said, being able to play make at 7'2", 280, right? The way he's been able to pass, the way he's been able to dominate, people don't give his ball handling enough credit as well. We know how dominant he is offensively and defensively, right? One of the best paint defenders in the league. That gets overlooked because of his unbelievable, uncanny offensive abilities at his size. Because, man, when he shoots the ball, it just looks natural. It looks like a layup when he shoots it. Just like a little flick. You know what I mean? Just a little nice flick from a 7'2", 280-pounder. Are you kidding me? Being able to shoot so effortlessly like that is unbelievable. We've never seen anything like it. We can say Kristaps Porzingis, but the way he shoots it so effortlessly. Oh, you're giving me a little bit of space, Al Horford? Oh, let me shoot in your face. You know what I mean? Like, the confidence. Oh, Cat. You're leaving me just, a foot of space. Oh, I'm pulling it up in your face. Like, that level of dominance, not only from the paint, but from three-point range, he's shooting contested threes, and that's open for him, right? Leaving only a foot, sagging only a foot behind. You can't do that. You can't do that with Embiid. You know what I mean? He's on another level. And it's amazing seeing how so many of the players on the 76ers are adjusting, switching their game. James Harden's a prime example, obviously, like I said before. Led the league in assists. Amazing, right? Had an absolutely amazing season. I think he's underrated. I think the season he had was unbelievably underrated. Underappreciated, right? Because all the attention went to Embiid for the most part this season. But without James Harden, Embiid wouldn't have been able to have the season he had, right? And to players like Tobias Harris, and being able to Tyrese Maxey. We know he's an offensive demon, but he's also an amazing playmaker. You know what I mean? Being able to adjust their game to Embiid is unbelievable. And if Embiid has an off night, which is really rare, you have Tyrese Maxey and James Harden and Tobias Harris, who are natural-born scorers and know how to be efficient offensively in this league. You know what I mean? And James Harden's been stepping up his defense this year too. So that team, we better watch out for the Sixers, I won't be surprised if they make the Eastern Conference Finals. They're going to have to face the Celtics. I think it's going to be the Celtics and Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think a lot of people have those two going to the Eastern Conference Finals. But the Heat, the Miami Heat, coming out of nowhere. This Heat team is, the things they've been able to do, coming from the play-in tournament, Jimmy Butler turning into God on earth, right? I saw this picture, someone edited the back of his jersey, the name, replaced Butler with him. That was so funny. But it's true. The things he's been able to do, and then he was injured game 1 against the Knicks, and he still put up an unbelievable performance, and they won game 1 against an unbelievable Knicks team. I know they didn't have Julius Randle, but they still had R.J. Barrett. Mitchell Robinson, obviously Jalen Brunson. He's their number one guy. But being able to have the assets that they had still, Emmanuel quickly, he's an amazing player, amazing talent as well. I think they need to give Quentin Grimes more minutes too. He's been unbelievable. I've been watching him since high school. I think he made the McDonald's All-American team as well. He's a hooper. He showed that in the Rising Stars game. He's unbelievable. And he's able to be an offensive weapon for that team. And if they're able to utilize him more, especially in the playoffs, I think they can definitely beat this Heat team. But they are on a hot streak. This Heat team is coming for blood. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler, if he smells any blood in anybody, he's going at him. Full speed. He's not scared of anybody. He will pick you up from full court, steal the ball, and dunk it in your face. Or he'll be like, you know what? I'm at the three-point line. I'm just shoot it. Swish. Casual. You know what I mean? I mean, this playoffs has been unbelievable. You know what I mean? And what a story for the Heat. But as far as the Warriors go, as scary of a team as they is, as scary of a team as they are, that off night, Game 7, and Curry and Looney producing the way they did, especially Curry, and shout out Looney for cleaning up the way he did, unbelievable. This is scary because that was probably Klay Thompson's worst shooting night of the series. Andrew Wiggins' worst shooting night of the series. Draymond Green wasn't as effective of a playmaker, defender as we're used to seeing. He's had better performances this playoffs. And he was a little lackluster. Game 7, he still played pretty decent, But Steph Curry being able to dominate the way he did, especially in the second half, how small he is, being able to, him falling to the floor, that little underhand flick, and it went in and won. It's unbelievable what he's doing right now. And he is on a tear. He's doing things no one else is doing right now. I mean, I guess you can say Jimmy Butler, but the way he's handling himself offensively, being able to be like, you know what? I got this. I'm a ISO for a couple possessions. Boom, easy. Able to get past, one of the best young perimeter defenders in Davion Mitchell with ease, right? Bumping right past him, drawing the foul, falling on the floor and ones. Like, it's unbelievable. High floaters off the glass. Not even off the... Some of his floaters are just like teardrops going like 50 feet in the air. Like, it's... This guy, the way he's able to casually dominate a game is unbelievable. And we saw, him smiling with his mouthpiece out the entire second half. Like, he was toying with him. You know what I mean? And Davis, they played Davis. He's undrafted, I think. Shout out Davis. He played a key role for the Kings. But when Curry saw him and the way he was defending, I think he had a little nerves with him. He played with confidence offensively, but defensively, I think he was a little nervous when he got switched on to Steph. Because they replaced him for Davion. I don't know why they put Davion Mitchell on the bench. They should have kept him out there to defend Curry. You know what I mean? Davis took over on the defensive end, and he just got destroyed by Curry. And I think that's why he was smiling the entire second half, because he was just like, oh, I'm going to just blow by you. No biggie. Oh, you're going to, I go for a quick first step. Oh, you bit. I'm going to just shoot a 3 in your face. Like, how can you guard that? Especially as an undrafted young player. Like, he exceeded my expectations the way, him being an undrafted player, but I was just so surprised that Mike Brown just completely just let him take over on the defensive side against Curry, when Davion Mitchell has been doing a relatively good job this entire series on Curry, especially through the screens. I mean, that man is exhausted. Maybe that's a reason, but they needed him for that Game 7, right? Now he's all the time in the world to rest because they didn't play him. Now they're all sitting at home sad because they had an opportunity to take this series away. At home. Full crowd. Loud. Ready to see them ready to see this bright young team make a run, and they did, right? But they had the opportunities. You know what I mean? And we wouldn't be talking about all this if Harrison Barnes just put a little less oomph into that almost game-winning shot that was barely a little strong. You know? And that's just how great of a series this has been. It's been that close. And then Curry comes out game 7. And then Curry comes out game 7 and just torches them. And that's why they won by 20. We all know that. Curry just torched them, and when Clay was missing shots, Andrew Wiggins was missing shots, Jordan Poole was missing shots, Kevon Looney was there, dominating. The fact that he had 10 offensive rebounds, that's unbelievable. I can't imagine the things Mike Brown was saying to Sabonis after that game. Even though, his eye socket was severely damaged, the fact that he was able to bully ball Sabonis like that. And Kevon Looney's like, what, 6'9", 6'9"-ish? I think he's listed at 6'9", which he looks way bigger than that, obviously, on the court. He's a massive physical specimen. But Demonis is like damn near 7 foot, And he made Sabonis look like he was like a shooting guard out there, And just able to snag it right over him. He didn't even need to box out at times. He just snagged it right over him. Just bully balling this dude. Getting him into foul trouble just because he's dominating this guy on both ends. Unbelievable from Kevon Looney. Shout out to Kevon Looney, man. He's been dominating. And, Steph Curry having the game that he had, and them having the off night, all those other players besides Kevon Looney and Steph, having the off night that they had. We don't know if they're going to have a performance this bad, right? They may have it a game or two, right? That's fine. It's first team to 4. It's okay if they have a bad game or two. But the fact that they had a game this bad, and Curry stepping up the way he did. Because we all know, if Curry has a bad game, they have Clay, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole. Kevon Looney's been killing it, right? Dante DiVincenzo's been killing it. Gary Payton II's been killing it. They have such a deep team. And the fact that they had an awful night, probably the worst game they had, excluding Steph and Kevon. And them two being able to step up the way they did. Steph and Curry having a historical night. No one's been able to have a game 7 the way Steph has had. He shot the most shots he's ever shot in a game in his career. The way he was able to step up and be like, you know what? So many people are having their off nights. I'm going to take this game over. I want to win. You know what I mean? That level of confidence he has is unmatched with any player in the league. Being able to just, you know what, I'm coming out and just giving it my absolute all, shooting from 30 feet. Bang. You know what I mean? Being able to shoot contesters, moving threes, moving floaters, being able to get tripped up and still make a layup close to the basket while he's falling to the floor and one. Like, he's doing things no one else is doing right now. And that's why everyone's talking about this guy. Because we know how great Steph is, but this great in the playoffs? He's had some times where he's choked in the playoffs, especially late game. And that's when, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, they all step up to the plate, but they didn't. And Steph Curry, out of nowhere, just puts on one of the most legendary playoff performances we've seen in the last decade. The best Game 7 performance we've ever seen. Arguably in NBA history. For a team to have an off night like that, and for Steph Curry to be able to do what he did in that Game 7, put on a historical performance. Kevon Looney being able to put up 21 rebounds, 5 for 7 shooting. Dominating on both ends of the floor. Steph Curry being able to get 8 rebounds over a very athletic, young Kings team. All I got to say is the West better watch out. because the Warriors are on a mission. And if Steph keeps playing the way he's playing, and if they have bad games, and he keeps producing the way he's doing, and even if he has a bad night, we know Clay's going to step up. We know Jordan Poole is going to step up. We know Andrew Wiggins is going to step up. Draymond's going to be a playmaker. You know, he's always a difference maker. Hopefully he doesn't get suspended for another game. Shouting at the refs too much. But this team is just... it's so well-rounded. There's so many players that can step up if other players are down. And that's what makes this team so lethal. That's what makes this team so scary to deal with. They're always able to hound you offensively. And just when you think that they don't have a good enough defense, guys like Kevon Looney step up. Undersized Steph Curry steps up defensively to hound them. Dante DiVincenzo going out there and doing what he's doing on the defensive end. Being able to play make on the offensive end as well. This team is so scary. The league better watch out, man. But obviously, I hope my Lakers win. I hope LeBron and AD can, and D'Lo and Rui and Austin and Malik Beasley and Dennis Schroeder. And there's so many guys on that team that I want to win either another ring or their first ring, you know? And I want LeBron to cement himself as the GOAT, you know? Even though so many of my friends have him as the GOAT already, you know? And I really want him to get this 5th ring because it's going to turn a lot of heads because he's already done so much. So much that people like Jordan, Magic, Bird weren't able to do. No one thought this soon that someone would be able to break Kareem's record the way LeBron has done and still going. He's going to surpass Kareem probably by 5,000, 10,000 points. Potentially, seeing, you know, if he goes, you know, who knows how many years left, right? He's going to heavily surpass Kareem's record that hasn't been broken for decades. I mean, think about that. With his amazingly, historically long career that he's having, consistently producing the way he is, still being a top player in this league. I still think he's top 5 currently in the NBA. Regular season and postseason. All I gotta say is this might be one of the most entertaining playoffs we've seen in the last decade. And there's been a lot of amazing playoff series this past decade. And I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see what's in store for the rest of the playoffs. And as much as I want LeBron and AD to destroy the Warriors, I want it to be a really good series. Because we all know when LeBron and Curry go up against each other, especially in the playoffs, it's a show. It's an absolute show. And now he has AD. Healthy. If you say he's healthy the whole series, this could go 7. This could go 7. This might be the most highly anticipated playoffs series we've seen in recent history. And all the pressure in the world is on LeBron. The Warriors, they've won enough, you know? Curry's doing his thing, you know, they have their depth. We all know how amazing the Warriors are. But the amount of pressure people are putting on LeBron, for good reason, right? For good reason. But, you know, obviously the people who are overdoing it, you know, they're just haters, you know? People are hating on LeBron. But I'm talking about people putting pressure on him for the right reason. Because LeBron knows if he gets his 5th chip and the things he's already done in his career, I think undoubtedly he's gonna be a tier above Mike. And I think universally people are gonna agree. And I can't wait for, you know, tomorrow's a big day. And I hope you guys tune in to the NBA tomorrow. All the amazing action, Lakers, Warriors, Game 1 tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute show. MVP of this season gets released tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be amazing, and I can't wait. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to smash that notification button so you don't miss another episode. And yeah, this is the first podcast episode on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know, what your guys' feedback is, what you guys want me to talk about next. I'm always down to talk about anything regarding the NBA, any news, the results of the MVP that are going to happen tomorrow. If y'all want my insight on that, the insight on the Lakers-Warriors game tomorrow, I can do all of that, I obviously can't react to the games because I don't have the official NBA's approval yet, which y'all should advocate for me for, you know what I'm saying? So I can have a little reaction channel, you feel me? That'd be lit. And, hopefully in the future I can get some big names on the pod, as this is just the beginning, man. First episode on the Dead Eye Pod. And yeah, I've gone on for about an hour. I'm going to edit this up real quick for you guys, try to get out as soon as possible. Again, thank you guys so much for listening, tuning in, watching, whatever platform y'all are listening / watching this from. I really hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.